Hello everyone. In this episode, we are going to learn how to implement GET API calls using ExpressJS. So let's begin. For implementing the GET API call using ExpressJS, we have already configured a project using NodeMon and have also set up a basic Express server. Configuring this setup is covered in another episode, the link for which is provided in the description box. You can refer to that on how this was set up. For this episode, we will not be connecting to a database for fetching the data or for updating data. Instead, we will be using a JSON file as a source of data to keep things simple. The JSON file will contain a listing of a few products, and we will be working with that for implementing these APIs. Let's go ahead and create a folder called data, within which we will create a file called products.json. We have already list data defined, and we will just be copying this and placing this data within a products.json. So as can be seen here, we have a list of products, each of which has the following attributes: ID, title, price, description, and category. We have a listing of 4 products here. Now let's get back to server.json, server.js, sorry. So the first step is to read this list of products so that it is available to the application. So we will import file system package. We will then read these products. We will pick the path to the products.json file, which is within the data folder. Now that we have the data read into products data object, we will convert it. This is still a string. We will convert it to a JavaScript object by parsing it using JSON. Now that we have the products in place, the next step is to configure Express to return JSON, to process JSON responses. So for which we will have to configure the JSON middleware. Now that we have this in place, the next step is we will be implementing the get API call for returning a listing of all the products. The way we can do it is by calling app.get. The path that we will define is /products. We'll have the arrow function to handle or process the request, and here we will see response.json products not product list. That we have this in place, let's start up the server. We have the server listening on port 8081. Now let's open Postman and try to see if the API is behaving as expected. So port is 8081. So as we see here, we can see a listing of the products, and we call the products API. The next API that we'll implement is to fetch the details. It will be again a get API to fetch the details of a particular product based on the ID. So the way we will be doing it is we'll again use the same /products path, and we'll have a path parameter product ID. Now here the first step that we will need to do is we need to first filter the product based on the product ID that has been passed as a path parameter. So we will use the filter function on the array, product list array. So in this filter function, we are going to check if the product dot id equals request dot params dot product id. So whatever path parameter, in this case we have the path parameter defined as product id, so this will be made available under request dot params dot product id. We will be checking if this is, while we filter the list of products, we will be checking if the product id is matching the path parameter, and if it does, we will return that. With this in place, so we within this filtered products we will have the product which, if there is a match for this id, it will be within this array of filtered products. Now the next step will be we will check if filtered products dot length, if there is any record which has been filtered, we'll return that. Ideally for a product id there should be only one record, so if there are multiple records the same id, then there is some data inconsistency, so we will return only the first product. If there are multiple products that have been found for a given id, we will just return the first product. If there is no match found, we will return 404 with an empty body. Let's see if this works as expected. If we go back and if we give a product id as 1, so here we see that we have run into an error, line number 16. So here we made a mistake here. It is not product, but it is products or product list. Let's try it out now. As we see that if we give a product id as 1, it is returning the first record, which is having an id of 1 from this from the JSON file. And if we give a product id which doesn't exist, we get a 404 not found status response, the response status, and an empty body. So this is how get API can be implemented using ExpressJS. Please give a thumbs up, share and subscribe to our channel if this episode was helpful. Also, let us know in the comment section if you would like us to create episodes on any other particular topic. And please follow us on our other social media profiles, even in the description below, for updates. We will also be posting this code on GitHub on the Spinsage under the Spinsage organization, and the link will be made available under in the description. Thank you.
At Spinsage, we provide digital consultancy services including web and mobile app development. For inquiries, please visit spinsage.com.